Hello, I have a concept idea for you. Okay, so when you are navigating somewhere where there is no sun, like at night, or way up north where the sun doesn't come up for months, you have to navigate by the stars. We call our celebrities and the elite and the other famous people stars. They are meant to, in theory, in an uncontaminated system, when they are actually free to be themselves and don't have to work within a certain set of parameters and programming that they have been brainwashed to believe they must function in, those people who shine like stars are meant to be our guidance system. Not like, save our souls guidance system, but to show us different ways of being. I don't want to just say living, I want to say being. Right now, I can't think of many, there's a few, but I can't think of many celebrities I would look to for guidance on how to be, on ways to be, showing us how to evolve, become more. We need a new guidance system. We need a whole new set of standards for celebrities and stars. Because as a society, as a group, as a mass people, what we subscribe to is what they accommodate. We are buying into the bullshit that by having a sexy body, which nowadays comes with so much plastic surgery and, filling this with that and putting this in there and dyeing that with that I don't know how they feel human after. They must feel a little, it's a lot of trauma. That's all I'm gonna say. Cutting your body and reshaping it, cutting it up and reforming it, there's gotta be a certain level of trauma there that is extremely hard to process when you're constantly under the limelight and don't really have any opportunity to even express why you felt you needed to cut yourself up and change yourself to become more acceptable to society. Don't get me wrong, in some cases for health issues, I get it. Also too, people who've lost massive amount of weight and want to remove extras, I get it. Some surgeries are definitely worth it and beneficial. But some of them, the ones that are just meant to keep you looking like you're 20 when you're 50, you're supposed to be a person that the 20-year-old looks up to. You're not supposed to want to be 20. You're supposed to be the person the 20-year-old wants to become. Or not exactly become like you, but you know what I mean. You're supposed to set examples of ways to be that are inspiring, that are more than just what your fucking face looks like, or whether you got to wear Louis Vuitton, or whether your heels are 6 inches or 4 inches. I don't give a fuck. My kids don't either. No, my kids are way more excited about people who do fun and exciting things. Billie, I always say her name wrong. My daughter's, I want to say Billie Eilish, but she's like, it's Eilish, Mom, it's Eilish. I was in French immersion as a kid, so sometimes anyways, it doesn't matter. I never was good at English. English is not my language, so I'm sorry if I get your name wrong. But my daughter absolutely loves her, and it's because she's different. She's not like everybody else. She's not another Gwen Stefani. She's not another, Taylor Swift. She's not a copy. She's herself, and that's what we need more of. And I hope more people that are coming into the desire to become celebrities or become famous, right? The young people, these next generations, I hope they don't sell out. Don't let anyone tell you have to do things their way to be famous. We are in a world where the internet is everywhere. Platforms to promote your music, yourself, your style is everywhere. You don't need to do what anyone tells you should do just because that's what they want you to do. We need more people to focus on what actually feels good in their soul when they're doing it, knowing that the energy they give out is what they're going to get back. So if you're just going to go out there with all of these selfish, I want to be famous, I want people to love me, I want to have all these fancy cars and all these fancy houses, and I want my name everywhere. That's kind of a selfish goal. Why do you want your name everywhere? What is your purpose? If I was to become famous, it wouldn't be because I want everyone to worship me or idolize me. I would find that kind of gross, honestly. A lot of pressure on me to act and behave a certain way that I couldn't maintain. And I would feel gross because they were idolizing and worshiping something that I was only that person sometimes, not all the time. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't really get to know you. imagine who you are based on bits and pieces of information and pictures that they get, and then they create a fantasy in their head about who and what you might be. But you do influence it based on how you dress, how you act, how you compose yourself in public. We have lost some of the most amazing icons of our time. With Betty White passing and some of these other women that held standards, in my view, of not just beauty, but how they actually conducted themselves. There is a certain amount of class and grace that, as a society as a whole, especially in social media's way of promoting pop culture, that we're losing. It's become trashy. There was a time when I was a kid that if a woman got up on stage showing all of her stuff, basically, having on a skin-colored tighties so that you can't see her coochie cooch while she's flopping everything around up on stage, there was a time where that would be considered appalling, not because you could see the body, but because that's somebody's daughter. And if she wants to behave that way, that's fine. There's public settings that are more appropriate, that aren't for all ages, that you can go do that aren't going to be publicized around the world for 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, little girls who are being essayed, by the way. And I bring this up because my daughter, who's 6, part of the grooming that she suffered was, well, I didn't know this till later when I started reviewing some of the videos. I thought she had picked these young teenage girl videos on her own, but they were actually videos that her father had been encouraging her to watch because he wanted her to dress more adult. He wanted her to act more adult. You women out there, you might feel special for a moment because everyone loves you with your legs hanging out and your boobs hanging out. But the little girls who are 8 or 9, 1 in 3 homes who are being essayed, and little boys too. I'm not a boy, so I don't always relate to boys, but boys too. It's not actually really that much of a difference in numbers. These kids are looking up to you and they're walking around acting more adult, acting more sexy than they should. And groomers, pedophiles out there are taking advantage of this. What happened to people like Lucille Ball? What happened to Reba McEntire? Or even Rita? I love her show, by the way. What happened to these wholesome sitcoms? I know a lot of people have a huge problem with Bill Cosby, but at least that show had family values. We don't seem to have even friendship values being demonstrated in our pop culture anymore. The stars that were our guidance system, where are they guiding us? And it's not all their fault. They're inside of this system and they're being told that they have to function and behave a certain way in order to be successful. And it's all a lie, of course. But when you're told that's how it is and you're never shown a different way, how do you know, right? This isn't a video blaming or shaming anybody, but this is a video basically for a call to action. If you are a consumer of pop culture, stop consuming anything you don't want your children to become. What you give energy to is going to keep persisting. We have to own it. We have to step up and say, this is not the way we want our world to work. This is not, we don't want sex to be the #1 reason why our children become famous, because it's already hurting them. Do you not see how it's all connected? They want you. This Western culture, patriarch system wants us to idolize sexuality, cheap thrills, vain, surface fulfillment. Because all that shit on the surface is just surface. It doesn't matter. That's why you need so much surgery to maintain it, because it's just surface. We need to do better for the kids. And it starts with picking a better guidance system with better quality stars to lead us in the right direction. As people, we get to pick. What we choose to worship matters. And you guys are picking some pretty crazy people to idolize right now. Anyways, that's my food for thought. Goodbye.